Supreme Peace, Blessings, and Harmony family. This your boy Allah Imhotep, and we back with another episode of the King's Table. I got Brother Ak on the show with us today, and also the great elder, Brother Baba Curvin. And we have a great episode here for you this particular week. The name of this episode is 2020 and Black People, How to Stay Alive During Challenging Times. And when we was coming up with the episode, I was thinking just seeing everything going on in the world, that this would be a very important episode to have and for us to have a good dialogue, because it's so much stuff going on in the world. You got to look at it like 2020 started, and then the first thing we had Kobe. He passed away, and that was a lot on people's mental because it was a tragic situation. His daughter was with him, and he's one of a great cultural icon. Then soon after that was in January, I believe. After that, we moved to March. You got coronavirus, the lockdowns, the shutdowns, and just this thing that's out here just changed everybody's life. As far as people had trips planned, everything, graduations, everything just changed. Then after that, we hopped into June, and before June, we seen so many brothers and sisters of our own people being shot down, murdered, killed in the streets. And then after that, coronavirus, again, that we in now. And then you take it to your personal life, the things you got to go through personally, work, school, your children, relationships, finances, just all that on top of everything. Your mental. How can you just keep your mental health at a healthy and positive state? So I think this episode is very important, especially for our community. Like when I woke up today, so I went online, I seen a young girl had got murdered in our city today. And it made me really just think about everything I just named, like everything that happened this year, plus add on this family now have to bury their daughter. And this is not happening in Saginaw. This happening all over the United States in our community. So that's basically what this episode is about. So any one of you brothers want to basically jump in and just, what do y'all see as far as like mental health right now at this time and the importance of maintaining a healthy mental health?
Well, I don't know. I'm just kind of reflecting on my year, right? It's definitely been crazy. Definitely from the shutdown, from Kobe, from everything, the election. Even like when you get to like a lot of all this, what people may call conspiracy stuff that the government might have going on. I know I was tripping over forced vaccinations. Like it was heavy, man. It was real heavy. So I think it's critical. When you look at us Black people, we definitely resilient. Being under pressure ain't nothing new for us, but this year been different. This is like more for the history book. And it's almost like, things were set up to just keep us off edge throughout the whole year. It's like we never had an opportunity to breathe. Right. So I think this episode that we're doing today, I think is mad important. I know we all have probably our ways of how we tend to try to handle the stresses, keep our sanity, if that's, being with family, if that's meditation, spirituality, whatever. So I'm excited to just share, be vulnerable, be open, and just talk about it. I think this mad important. Mental health is like number one.
I definitely would start out by paying homage to the ancestors, not to be so spooky like we taught in Western theosophy, but the true science of the African spirits being alive and well in the universe, vibrating on different spheres, that there's a protectiveness in that to where no matter what I'm doing or not doing, I'm still covered by their energy and their synergy as it travels through the ethos, is giving us the power to be able to survive in this decadent world And like I say, I don't want to appear to, because some of this stuff, we got to bring our people up to our level. So maybe we can't so much dialogue as freely as we want on it. But if you put it in a language where they can understand it, then it becomes even more spookier. But then they go to talking about angels and witchcraft and all that other stuff. But we know that our ancestors for hundreds and thousands of years have taught us that they go to the universe and that they live in the universe, that the true essence of us is not the physical plane, but the spiritual plane at different levels. And being at different levels in the spiritual plane, that they are able to produce certain things in the atmosphere in the universe that protects us. So I'll just say it, that, and then we'll build on it as we go.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with you, Bob, as far as the ancestors. I think that's one of the most important things that right now you can be into, like the ancestors, a higher power, and just knowing that it's something greater going on. I feel like if you look at the history of just the earth, whether you're looking at the last 5 years or you want to go back 5,000, 50,000 years, when you just look at the history of civilizations rise and fall, and they go through up and down, meaning humanity and human beings, especially us as, you know, what we are called black people, which I call indigenous people, especially us being the first people on earth. We have experienced many different worlds, many different experiences, many different civilizations. And I think one thing that always have kept us going through and kept us pushing through is having a faith in a higher power and also our ancestors. And even though, like Baba was saying, it might be a lot of people who don't recognize it as the ancestors, but still people be like, oh, their grandma may transition into the ancestral realm. They say, grandma protect me. We still call out on certain people who, you know, was close to us. But I think it's very important having faith in something that's more than just the physical realm, and understanding that what's going on in life is way more than just physicality. Physicality in the material realm is the lowest part of creation, or the lowest part of existence. So it's knowing it's a higher power no matter what you may be going through at any time. I think definitely having faith within a higher power, and for me, the ancestors as well, but just a higher power, period. Just have faith in that. I like what you said, Bobby.
Man, you know, me, Bob, as soon as you said that, I started smiling because, you know, that's, if it wasn't for my spiritual system, if it wasn't for, you know, that side of my life, you know, I don't know how I would have handled a lot of the different things, you know, that happened in my life, including this year, you know, but like you say, Bob, and like you say, you know, the hotel, if you just look at our black people, all those major leaders, those major movers in America and across the world, they had strong spiritual beliefs or systems, if you want to say, you know, the great ancestor, you know, oh man, it's skipping me right now. I'm going blank, but I know, Baba, you definitely going to be able to back me up. Just all our great ancestors that helped us make these great movements, they had a powerful spiritual system. So I think we can't, especially for black people, we can't separate our resilience and our strength from our spirituality. They one thing. So I'm very glad you brought that up. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm honored that you also made it real clear that you can't have good mental health without spirituality. They two go together. What happens with us is that we buy into the Eurocentered albino's definition of what entails proper spirituality or proper mental health, and then that's where the problem comes. I think one of our great psychiatrists, a lot of people not aware of him, but Dr. Bobby Wright was one of the forerunners in this area, and he did a lot of work, and he talked about menticide, and then other ones who came along after him, and some of them before him in the 60s, talk about being blackenized, and blackenized was a form of, mental fortitude to be able to overcome various levels of oppression and the struggle. But if I were to definitely put a lot of emphasis on somebody, I would put it on Dr. Bobby Wright. And Bobby Wright did crystallize a lot of this stuff for us to where we can draw a distinction between a set up system of government based on health care that they would try to use it primarily for African Americans, but for all people, especially in America, all races, groups, colors, of people in America, America being a melting pot, to control them through these different agencies and entities, mental health agency, well health agency, CDC, so on and so forth. All of these agencies are so-called in the bed with one another. The pharmaceutical companies and so on and so forth, all of them want to give you a degree saying you qualify to diagnose somebody for a condition that somebody else in a same group produced, to where now you're going to diagnose them and you know somebody made the disease, somebody made the condition, and now we got another guy that give him a degree, PhD or whatever, and he'll define it, and then we got another guy with a PhD prescribe a medicine you, because another guy with a PhD, a pharmacist, say this is the medicine that will help fix it or help you tolerate whatever this illness, condition, or mental health issue might be.
Well, I definitely agree. I think in this particular society, and just in Western society, period, that they don't want you to have a good mental health. This is a lot of times they want you to be sick mentally so they can make more money. The corporations can make money off of it. It's not about healing. It's not about people living a peaceful life. They want you to be drained. They want you to be stressed out. They want you to be scared. They want you to be fearful, because with that, when people do have mental health breakdowns in this particular society, then at the end of the day, they making money, because now I can prescribe you these drugs you need, this. When I believe it's always a holistic approach to be able to heal yourself. And I think the first thing goes back with the spirituality. But when you're living in a nation that is void of spirituality, then at the end of the day, they're not looking at a way to particularly heal you starting within. So I think that's the first thing. Like, we have to understand the environment we in and have been in, because we go back and thinking about our mental health as a people, which I like to call a tribe, because whether we're in Michigan or we went to California or Louisiana right now, you're going to find our people, we still have the same mannerisms. It might be different, like slightly culturally different by the region, but at the end of the day, we still kind of do the same thing. We have the same slangs. We have the same foods on the holiday. So we are a tribe of people, whether you in Michigan, Louisiana, New York. So even from our history as a whole people, our mental health is coming from back slavery days. We still are trying to heal ourselves on top of all the other stresses we have in this world, from generational curses and generational things that have been following us mentally, spiritually, and emotionally back from slavery, which, again, this society doesn't want to heal. And it doesn't want to, not just with Black people, it doesn't want to heal any race of people. Because when you come to capitalism, they make money off that. So I think we have a lot on our plate already as a people, whether it's personally, tribally, socially. And we have to be able to understand that the people who are in power don't want us in a good mental state. And they're not here to basically lift you up. So we have to lean on each other. And I think we need to start being a little more kinder to each other, knowing that we have the responsibility to help each other out with our mental health, and ourselves as well with our own mental health. So,
man, y'all brothers dropping this fire. I guess what I like to add is y'all killing it. Is probably try to define like what is mental health, what is mental wellness, so everybody can relate to it. So this is my humble opinion. When we think about mental health, sometimes like a lot of Black people, or even myself or others, when we talk about like mental health, a lot of us might check out like, I don't got no mental health issues. Like, I'm straight. But when if I ask myself, what is mental health? What is mental wellness? I'm thinking, what is my physical health and how does that affect my brain and my ability to perform, right? And that's when we talk about all these different conditions that people may have that Bob always talk about that, they're created and they give labels to, and, if it's ADHD, if it's multiple personality disorder, that's something to do with our physical health and how it affects our mind and our body. But like the other side of like mental health and mental wellness is like, how do we manage our thoughts? How do we manage our emotions? How do we manage our responses? How do we see ourselves? How do we see the world? And that's the lane where I think we all can relate to, right? You don't have to have some type of diagnosed condition or whatever the case is to like care about or want to learn more about your mental health and wellness. So how can you know if, we can improve, or how can you know the state of your mental wellness? You got to look at, at the different areas of my life, am I producing healthy results due to how I manage my mind, how I manage my thinking, right? And I think that's what we all can relate. I don't care who you are, Brother Hotep, it's like we all need to be kind with each other, because if you're living in this society that is void of spirituality, that doesn't know anything about health, how you could tell, because everybody's sick, right? You got to understand we all have a problem with managing our emotions, managing our thoughts. We all have poor health that's affecting our mindset. So, we all got to be kind with each other. So, lastly, I'm just going to kind of, throw some things out there so we can assess ourselves. A tendency to think negatively about ourselves and others. That's mismanagement of our mental health, right? Because that leads to stress. Let's say having irrational beliefs, things that don't really match with reality. There's a lot of things that could fall in that lane. So I just kind of wanted to open that can so we can kind of, see that everybody can relate to it. It doesn't matter who you are. If you living in the Western world, especially in America, you have a mental health thing you should probably check out,
Right.
And you did real well in your explanation of that. Only thing I probably would add is I believe that good, proper mental health also, based on societal Western words, that we would have to say your natural ability to be able to deal with oppression and depression and don't react in such a way that cause you to harm yourself and others based on what they saying a mental breakdown or some type of psychological breakdown where you go get a gun and shoot somebody or burn somebody's house up, or you cut yourself or hang yourself, something like that. Other than that, we have pretty much been a survivalist type people. And you covered so much and you did well. And I would probably just add those just couple components in there too, because a lot of times we don't want to look at that particular side of what mental wellness is, mental health is, and then that other side that says that if you cross this line, then you mentally ill, or you mentally unstable, or you mentally damaged. Even right now, they're talking about the government have defined people who use drugs as a mental health issue as well. It's called substance use disorder. So if you on heroin, you on, Oxycontin, you on, whatever, alcohol, then the government now can give you a check, Social Security, based on the government being able to diagnose you as suffering from some form of mental health. And I love what you did, Brother because you covered so much. And mental health is definitely broad. It covers so many areas that people diagnose this as mental health, that as mental health. It can be based on gender, and so on and so forth. Good job.
Yeah, and definitely, Brother Ankh, I definitely agree with you. I love what you said. It doesn't have to necessarily, you got split personality disorder to have like mental health and have a mental health problem. Like, I think just the foundation, first of all, when you've been enslaved and ruled by people with mental health issues for over hundreds of years, are people going to have some mental health issues?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I look and they say, well, black people acting like this, black people acting like that. If we really know the true foundation and true assault that has happened to us for the last hundreds of years, you would say, well, black people are acting the way they're supposed to be acting, especially if they haven't had the proper assistance and the proper mental health or the proper financial things to be able to bring us out of our situation. So you're supposed to be acting the way we are acting, because for hundreds of years we have been assaulted. But now I feel like we are at a point, even with all this crazy stuff going on in the world, it still is a divine light that's just coming through the earth. So I think us as a people, we need to learn how to be a little more transparent. See, America, before we was wearing masks, everybody, you would be feeling the downness, and you see somebody, hey, how you doing? You know, they say, how you doing today? You probably could just crying in the car. You know, there's people who really live like that. Then they put that mask on and they keep going and masking. I think with transparency, the first thing, being transparent with yourself and being honest with yourself and honest with how you feel and what's really going on with you. And if you do have someone in your corner that you can vent to, that you can talk to, and that's judgment free, that you don't feel like the weight of the world is just you're carrying it by yourself. Just being honest and true with your feelings and knowing what's going on in your life, what you feel in the world, and knowing your thoughts. A lot of times I feel like as a people we suppress the way we feel or certain things that happen to us. A lot of people, especially as children, and again, I'm no mental health expert, you know, but just looking through life, a lot of people suppress things that happen. It's people 60, 70 years old that have suppressed things their whole life, and that plays into their mental. They never took that time to heal. I think for our mental health individually and as a people, I think we need to start moving in the process of healing as well, so we can get to the place where we need to be.
And I would jump in there, if Unc don't mind just jumping there real quick, and I agree with everything you said. And I will say that, you know, the psychosis is real, the pathology is real. And what had happened is that our own people had got tired of Thorndike and Barnhart and then Freud and then Abraham Maslow and Charles Maslow. And, you know, Maslow, they invented the mental health theory. All these other people defining for us who we are and what we are based on their own greed, selfish, trying to put us in a box based on skin color of inferiority of the Skinner brothers and all of them. That then we came up with people, like I said, Bobby Wright, Francis Cress Welding, Joanna Kunjufu, Dr. Naeem Akbar, Hakeem Matabuti. There's so many people who went in that, if you will, sociology and psychological field, who began to do works and analyze us from our perspective. And then the other brothers in the, like you say, the holistic movie, who went back to the motherland and went to studying about the pineal gland and other health things that our ancestors used. And we found out, because you talked about healing also, Baba, in Hotel, and what they found out that there was a lot of things that held up, not only just, I would say, vitamins, herbs, and minerals, but also music, you know, in cultural events and things that we did. Those were the saving grace or the healing grace that helped us have the stability or even be able to deal with or overcome a lot of the mental illness incidents that have taken place in this country. And the fear factor, I don't want to say too much. I'll end right there.
No, you going in, Baba. I love it. I love every bit of it. I love how you brought up, you know, this is something really important I want us all to think about, because I had to think about it, right? Actually, Bob, I'm going to ask you to say a quote of yours that you always say, and then I'll take it from there. What's that quote you used to tell us on, like, something about, like, if something to do with, like, the person who defined your language determines how you see the world? So what's that quote you used to tell us all the time?
Yeah, that came up with that. It's called he or she who defines for you the definition of the word also prescribes for you the essence of your being.
When I first heard that, I just want to have a shout out. This was one of my first teachers that really changed just the whole way I see the world. So thank you. But when I first heard that quote, it kind of just opened up my mind because, I'm not an expert either. I will say, though, I've had the blessing to be around and be taught and coached and mentored by a lot of great experts. And one of the things they taught me, because I had a lot of mental emotional challenges and things like that, is the most important things that kind of determines our mental health and our performance in life and our confidence is how we define ourselves, how we view ourselves, and how we define and view the world. So what Bob was doing, he was breaking down like, dang, every person who came up with these psychological theories and all these things that we base in our lives on, none of them black, not one of them. And so then you start to see that, how we define ourselves and how we define the world, our problems, what's a relationship, what's manhood, what's health, what's not, all that is being defined by another person's worldview, right? And I'm not just going to say that's ultimately bad, but when you see us as, let's say, melanated people, black people, we've been here for a long time, right? So we could just say that just like with age. You get a lot of wisdom with age. You understand how to solve problems and how to handle things. So you telling me, all the thousands of years we've been here, we don't have our own way to define how to see the world. We don't have our own way to define how we look at health and what's a relationship. So when we understand that, anytime you have a society and a culture, you have gatekeepers. And gatekeepers is those who control the narrative, the media, who control the books, who control how we get everything. So I want to thank you for breaking that up, because I'm just going to be my last piece. If you think about it, America is kind of going through like their spiritual wave, right? They're kind of going through kind of like new age, and everybody want to go into herbs and crystals, and they want to go into natural healing. But if you look into all that stuff, that's black people stuff. They don't call it black people stuff. They call it new age, They call it this. So, go in here. So, you got people like Dr. Lalula Africa. You got people like Dr. Sebi, where they just came up on the scene and they curing everybody of all mental illnesses and diseases that you can name. And when you find out what they did, they just started treating people from the black perspective, from the holistic perspective, from Mother Nature. So thank you, Baba, for bringing that up. So we really got to be careful on asking ourselves, who is defining what is health for us? Who is defining what is normal for us? Who is defining what is all these things for us? We really got to think about that and be careful and look for our black leaders, So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I definitely, man, that was some fire. I definitely agree. And you said a point with basically the point where both of you brothers was saying, we have somebody else defining our reality and defining their health. I love what you said. Like, that's all our stuff, all our ancient stuff. And I feel like at this time in life, for us to maintain a healthy mind, because the first law of the universe, everything is mental. The universe is a mental creation of the creator. Okay. So everything that what you believe you are. And for us to maintain a healthy self-perception, at the end of the day, I feel like it's getting in tune with yourself. Because when we naturally are in tune with ourselves, we understand that no matter what happened, we are here and we will be here. That we always going to persevere and make it through the darkest of times, because we have proven that we have done that, and we will continue to do that. But I love what both of y'all said, though. Man, that was fire. That was fire.
And remember that our elders, our brothers and sisters who paved the way in these areas, they suffered a great loss of being ostracized, ridiculed, and mocked, even by our own, loss of their professorships and kicked out of colleges and offered medical boards and different things like that because, they stood up and they began to challenge the Western Eurocentric albino view or interpretation of things. And as they began to challenge them, they knew that they was creating an atmosphere of healing for us because then it was us on us being able to define for us what worked for us. And as opposed to them not being genetically or melanated enough to be able to heal us or solve our problems, we were able to then go back to the roots of our own and bring it out. And surely they plotted and schemed against them. I think about all what Francis Cress Welsing went through, Dr. All of them. I mean, I don't want to get so much in a name, but even our modern day people like Umar Johnson, Amos Wilson, Professor James Smalls, and Dr. Phil Valentine, the real Dr. Phil. I call him the real Dr. Phil. Some of the things that they go through right now today by trying to disseminate information that uniquely fits us and that'll benefit the whole population based on whoever mankind might be, they get a benefit from it too. But we're talking about most things were invented by us to benefit us, and then they were able to build off it too. And that's what I'm saying, that a lot of that stuff, even right now today, that when our people invent, create, or make something that uniquely fits us, it fits them too. But being that it don't fit in the powers that be scheme of things, they have to belittle them or say they don't know what they're talking about, or that stuff really don't work. And all, like what Unc was saying, Dr. Sebi healed all kind of people. And I'm pretty sure y'all aware, Dr. Sebi had to go to court against pharmaceutical companies because they were saying that ain't working, that can't work, because why? We didn't approve for it to work. Exactly. We didn't approve for you to be able to do
not making money
what
off
you're
of
doing. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm agreeing 100% with you. They not making money off of it. In this society, somebody who want to keep you oppressed and keep you down, they don't want you to have a light. They don't want you to be mentally strong. They don't want you to be mentally healthy. They don't want black people, white people, Asian people, no people to be mentally healthy and mentally strong, because if you mentally healthy and you mentally strong, I can't oppress you. You're going to start seeing the game, and you're going to start seeing the light, and you're going to start understanding that this is all a con game that I'm doing with the whole earth. You mentally healthy, think about it every day. I be walking past TV, the TV be on. They are pumping, no solutions at all about corona, nothing like they pumping it down to keep people fearful like this all day. When people got so much stress in their life already, and these people are bow, pumping it down. But they want you to be on a lower vibration already, mentally, damn near crazy. You're already stressed out from all the turmoils of life, so you can take that all in. They want you to be at a dark place. That's why it's important for our people to know, and all people, but especially our people, to know that you can move through whatever is going on earth right now. By being in tune with yourself, having the positive thoughts, and just knowing that my thing is that it's a greater purpose and greater will that this too shall pass. That's because even myself being transparent, I have to get myself together sometimes. Like, oh man, and I want to piggyback on something that you said, Baba, like with our greats, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Ben, Dr. Yosef Ben Jochannan, just when you become, and I know y'all brothers have this journey too, when you walk into truth, when you find knowledge and understanding and truth, that's a whole mental health fight within itself.
Yes, sir.
That's a whole mental health fight within itself, because like for me personally, like I was living one certain type of way, thinking things like this, and it's supposed to be like this, and I found this. Now your mind is challenging challenging. Then you go try to tell other people, and then y'all, I don't know if y'all had this experience, you crazy. You know, you crazy. Or that, if you ain't mentally strong, you have been mentally broke. And honestly, the universe or the creator or this higher power, whatever this S is moving you in a direction to know these things. Because you're finding back out the things that our ancestors used back in the day and the tools, the spirituality, so they can be healthy. So you find this thing out in this, and you become what they call enlightenment, and you find it out damn near people who don't know it will run you crazy and want to keep you in the dark. And this is the very essence of the tools that you need to really, truly heal yourself and to become the best version of yourself, though. So when I look at people like our greats, like I believe it was Dr. Ben who said one time he was teaching and somebody spit in his face because he said something about Jesus and they spit in his face. And think about mentally, you know, but because he had the foundation of the right spirituality, he was able to handle that. Like me, I'm a teacher. I get into teaching, but I don't know. My mental health, I'm still getting. You spit on me, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going for what I know. You know what I'm saying? MLive articles. But just think about that foundation his mental health had to be for somebody to spit in his face, and he was so strong enough to persevere through that. So a lot of times when it comes to our grace, a lot of people who didn't fall, or just people who come into enlightenment, who come into understanding different things about whatever it may be in the world, whether it's spirituality, religion, history, any type of knowledge, just staying strong on that aspect of mental health too. I want people to know that, because even though we're at a dark time, a lot of things happen this year, it's still an awakening that's going on. And with that awakening, you still have to be able to maintain and learn how to grow through that. It's just a growth process. So anybody out there listening and you actually going through and you learning new things and you got people calling you crazy, or, you know, you going to hell, or you doing this, stay strong and stay true to the process that you're going through, and ask the universe or the ancestors or the higher power, your divine self, to show you the truth, and it will lead you in the right direction. But you stay strong with that as well, because that's a whole nother level of mental health, because when you do find enlightenment, it's a part of you that's dissolving, that make you think you're going crazy, but you're really growing and going through. So I want any brother and sister out there, or anybody out there who is growing and learning, to, you know, trust the process and maintain your health too, your mental stability and sanity.
Man, y'all know me. You know, I like to give some free game, and I like to give some tools. You know, thank both of y'all brothers, because this show fire. You know, this show fire for sure. So I hope everybody listening, like, remembering these names we saying, you know, these great leaders, because we ask ourselves, you know, this 2020 Black mental health, how to stay strong during challenging times. So one of those keys is we got to understand that anytime you're within a culture and your people or your group is not that dominant culture, you are constantly being influenced by it, right? So you have to take extra measures to define your own knowledge and perspective for yourself. So how you do that is, okay, I'm not saying don't ever watch the news, because you got to stay informed, but how about you start looking for people to inform you that might come from a similar cultural background, or might challenge the status quo, right? So when you get what's getting your world news from, or your understanding of psychology, your understanding of religion, start these names that y'all hear, write these names down, find out who these people are, you know, find out who Ra Nefer Amen is, find out who Bobby Hemming is, even some of the young brothers, you know what I'm saying, find out who Young Pharaoh is, if y'all don't know, and check out these different people to just open your mind to another perspective. So some of the tips that I can give when it comes to mental health and wellness is we got to understand that, you know, it's very few things that you can control in the world. But one thing we can control is our perspective on how we look at things, how we define things, and how we respond to them. And that's how we stay in control of our mental health. So, you know, we can choose how we respond to, you know, what's going on in the world with the election and different things like that. So I'm going to say this last little perspective piece here. You know, one of the major pieces about mental health is understanding that we choose how we label and define situations. So we choose how a situation affects us. We all can have the same experience, but we all gonna get impacted by it differently based on how we decide to respond to it and how we decide to define it. So what do I mean? Even though this year has been crazy, due to the great brothers and sisters I have around me, due to my spiritual system, due to some of the work that I've done, this has been one of my best years ever in terms of different opportunities coming up. And it had a lot to do with my perspective. It had a lot to do with, okay, yeah, I can't go nowhere. True, I'm locked in the house. True, there's a lot of things going on in the world. Okay, well, what can I do with my time? And just making sure that even though things is I'm in a pressure cooker right now, I can still find the silver lining and decide to focus on that and build myself. So I'll just say, understand that nobody can decide how we respond to a situation or how we look at it, and thus if we grow from it or not, or if we're broken from it or not. So I just want to put that piece.
Yeah, I liked it, that brother. That was some great insight right there. Like, and I 100% agree with you. Like, for myself, like when all this stuff happened this year, for me, when Kobe passed away, of course that was a tragic event. But then we went into the COVID situation, and me just looking into a lot of things I have been looking into over the years. That things like the New World Order, things that they were going to move to and try to really put down. And for me, as being a black man and coming from a black community, always thinking about like, well, if they're trying to do this agenda, of course they're going to try to get rid of us, eugenics, a lot of different things, plans that they have had over the years. My mental state, it was like it kind of turned rah, like to the point I didn't even want to be around people because I was battling this anger with this society. And then when the riots came and they killing us again, then I seen the thing with George Floyd. Like when George Floyd came, I had seen 4 people. I had seen George Floyd. Before George Floyd, it was Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor situation. And I saw another young guy out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Drayshawn Reed. I saw all these people get killed on live within a span of a month. Now, they all went on live, but I saw videos of these people dying, except Breonna Taylor. That was just a publicized story. But all this was coming into your mental. Then COVID going on. Then me personally, I'm thinking about all this deep agenda these people having. And for a minute, I was like tripping up, like just wasn't feeling like myself. So then I thought about it. And it came over me that this is collectively. This just not happening just to you. It's happening collectively. You taking the weight of all this on and you internalizing it, but it's happening to us as a people collectively. I think once we understand that everybody is experiencing the same different things at the same time, I think that then we can know, since it's collectively, that people can start being able to have a conversation with each other to uplift one another, and instead of tearing each other down, especially, I want to say in our community, because all over the country right now, with everything that people are dealing with this COVID, with these elections and this uncertain times, you still got our people, you got mothers and fathers and cousins and sisters who are burying their children, not from natural causes, and not even from the police, but from us committing genocide against one another. So I look at that aspect of the mental health within our people and within our community, us living in impoverished neighborhoods, impoverished communities, us taking on these, again, which I call generational curses that have came down, and us having to deal with all these things in society, plus on top of the layers that we personally have to deal with. I think we have to understand we all in this collectively. We all experiencing this, and we all going through it. And just being transparent enough at times to be able to talk about it. Be like, okay, like push each other up and be honest with what's really going on and be able to give each other the motivation to push each other up and lift each other up. And I feel like we all could, only the strong survive. So individually, yeah, you got to be strong to push your way through everything that's going on in the world. But I think I remember the movie Planet of the Apes, one monkey weak, many monkeys strong. We understand that our experiences collectively, let's act as if it's collectively and just uplift one another.
Y'all give me about, if you can, I don't know, probably about 5 minutes to kind of recap some of this, but try to put it in a perspective for our audience. And I do like what you said about the black on black, and I don't really believe black on black, but I'm saying that the system leads us toward that through subliminal suggestion to make us harm one another, whatever the reason might be, difference of skin color, hair color, you got more than I got, jealousy, false stature, education, I'm against you, political preference, we get religious indoctrinations, mine better than yours. There's so many things that make us pit ourselves at one another, but I do want to make it clear that that's still all part of the scheme to produce the psychosis, the trauma, and the fear. When you see on TV your and my people being killed over and over, subliminal suggestion to the mind that you are nothing and a nobody, your life ain't worth nothing. That's a mental side right there. That's the impact even on our little children growing up, that in their subconscious they saying they really not worth nothing. And until we come up with a solution to fix this, we're going to keep on getting all of this. And I want to point out is that the opposite of it is they are in control of all of these institutions, and that's what really racism is when you control institutions, the media, the hospital, the economics, the housing, the jobs. Those who control that stuff are the real racists. We found that out from the book Black Power by, who was it, Charles V. Hamilton and Stokely Carmichael, who later on changed his name to Kwame Ture. So we find out now that, I'll go this way. Say we make the so-called Jews in charge of the music industry, and they let you make a record, beat nigga, shoot nigga, kill nigga, money, money, money. Beat nigga, that's all it is. Beat nigga, shoot nigga, kill nigga, money, money, money. Now, that's all right because it's on us. Now, if you flip that narrative and say, beat hunky or white person, kill white person, liberation, they're going to cut that off immediately. So they are in control. They let what goes go. And then we don't have no control or no power what's on the electronic babysitter, what's on the airwaves. And then our people wanting to get rich, if you will, they'll go. And I heard Nas say, you have entertainers who's good and they have a positive message. But then when they go into the industry, be it Columbia, Record, Sony, or whoever, and they present a positive message, they say, oh no, that ain't what we're looking for. You got to go back, come back with something else. And then they go and make something debilitating, something that's the most diabolical, filthiest thing that's degrading us as a people. And, it's just like they gave us the Grammy or the Emmy to Outkast, or what the song that went about from the Hustle and Flow movie, the pimp, something like, all that old stuff. So I'm wrapping it on up. So what I'm saying is that now that we don't tore us apart, let's sew us back up. In order for us to be mental healthy, we got to learn the traditional, develop cultural norms and standards that uniquely benefit us coming from our ancestors. We already know music is an art form. Certain forms of music, classical music invented by us, jazz, no words, nobody telling you what to think. That music is a form of healing. It can heal certain forms of health issues and mental illness. Your diet, as Aunt keeps saying, your diet, eating and learning the right herbs to eat, the right minerals to take, the right vitamins to take. Those type of things are the things that heal us. So we need to get back to the place, and we know the great-great-grandmamas and all of that, they had all kind of household remedies that benefit us, and we don't got far away from them. But also, we were stronger in the sense we didn't let stuff break us. The last point I'm making, we don't want to overlook that the powers that be have made this genetic warfare to where now they introducing chemicals in our water, chemicals in our food that's making our young ladies more muscular, making our young men more effeminate. So we have all kind of warfare. But I'm saying if we go back to the things that uniquely fit us, coming from our ancestral realm, we will be able to heal a lot of this mental illness that exists in our culture and the world.
Bam. Hey.
Mic drop.
Yeah. But I want to piggyback. You said, Bobby, that, man. But I want to piggyback what you said about the music. I agree with you 100%. I believe music heals. And I agree with you 100% about these record labels, these people who suck the blood out of a lot of our artists, who get them in situations that they promote the destructive culture. And I'm gonna be transparent and be honest. I listen to all type of music. It's a balance of it. But I'm a grown man too, so I can distinguish between reality and distinguish between art. A lot of these children, and we talk to a lot of our kids' mental health, which they listen to these things, and a lot of them who don't have the spiritual foundation or the spiritual backing or just coming from a certain family, a lot of people think that this stuff is real. So I gotta go out here, I gotta catch a body, I gotta do this, or our young ladies, I got to, excuse my language, but I gotta give my pussy up for me to have some type of self-worth. But if you take the industry, they want to put that out, like you said, Bob, but to keep us people degenerate, or to try to lock us into a degenerate state, or just to give the image to the world that we are, this is all that we about. They don't want us to talk about the true things. Like you said, we're talking about liberation, talking about power, re-educating ourselves, unity among our people. They don't play them. It's artists making these songs. It's artists out here who make songs that's going to keep us at a higher mental state, at a higher mental vibration. But they're not putting that on the radio.
Right.
Because they want to keep us at this lower in this lower vibratorial energy. And that goes, I bring the kids up because I feel like it's important for our children's mental health as well. Because our children are going through a lot right now as well too. Our children, half of them not even going to school. Think about, school is a time of social hour. Think about how alone and a lot of things that they going through. Then you take that and all you see is negative images, negative, and you just intaking all this negative energy inside your being at times. So I look at the babies too. The babies are going through it. Even the mothers, the mothers at home raising their kids, they not getting a break, can't send the kids nowhere. It's just on them all day. They mental health. Yeah. But I'm gonna bring it back around to what you said, Baba. Music and just good energy, being around the right type of people, being around the right type of energy, having the right type of thoughts, and what you taking in mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Even if you watch it, what movies are you watching? What are you sitting and watching? Stay informed, like Brother Ankh said. Stay informed. You want to watch the news? That's how you get your information. Watch it. But how much of that are you taking in? Social media. How much of that are you debating and arguing with? I have to catch myself like, I'm not today. I'm not going to do it today. But how much are you sitting there arguing and taking in negative stuff off social media? Control your energy and put your energy into positive things that coming into you. you know, the food that you feed your soul, the food that you feed your spirit, have it be positive energy, whether that's positive music, what you watch, what you do. Just controlling the energy that you're taking in right now, so you can have a balanced mindset.
Man, there's so much wisdom here. It's not much more to add, and I'm just going to try to play my role and adding some tools to the game. You know, if I think about everything we saying, if I can like draw all together, it really comes down to, you know, Black mental health and how can we stay strong during challenging times. And we see, you know, one end is really about that there's people in power that don't have the best intentions, that controls the food, that controls the music, that controls the narrative. And really when it comes down to our mental health, is really about inputs and output. What goes in is coming out. So when it comes down to what are those practices, like Baba Kervin said, that we need to add into our life, what are those healthy things we need to adapt? In my experience, like I said, I'm not a master, I'm not a super expert, but I have been taught by really powerful, great people, is that it really comes down to really understanding that we got to be the masters of our mind and the masters of our body, and that's a process. So that means we need to be the ultimate gatekeeper, the ultimate guard dog of what we allow to come into our psyche, what we allow to come into our bodies, right? And we got to learn these practices, these health practices and these mental practices. So, you know, whoever's watching this, if you're interested, because I feel like this is what needed, you want to learn more on how to strengthen your mind, how to strengthen your body, you know what I'm saying, through meditation, through diet, all these different things. Comment below, and I'll do some free workshops for you. Just put you on some free game and just do whatever we can, because this stuff is, you know, it's life or death. It's life or death on what we put in our body. It's life or death on the thoughts we allow to come into us. It's life or death on how we identify what is health, and if we're going to let people give us vaccinations, or if we're going to allow this to happen. Like, we got to learn how to think and learn how to really empower ourselves. So to me, it's really about self-mastery, not allowing anything to come into us, and knowing how to detox ourselves emotionally, detox ourselves mentally, detox everything. So if that resonates with you, if that's something you want, I'll definitely make that happen for you.
Man. I like what Brother Imhotep and Brother Ankh just said about the importance of taking stuff in and putting stuff out, getting stuff out of us. And that's really what it's about. Unfortunately, that a lot of the stuff that we need to put in us, the society has made them a badge of shame in the eyes of our people, so that when you try to inform them of these people, of their rituals and their traditions, the things that our Creator have given them specifically for us in humanity, they frown on them based on a Eurocentric approval. We in 2020, we should not be sitting around waiting on Europeans to approve our own visionaries and what they had to offer for us as a gift to us in the world that's going to heal us and the world. And as I'm getting ready, I want to run some of these books right down right quick, y'all. This one is The Psychology of Blacks by Joseph White. And we all know this one is The ISIS Paper by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. This one here is The Atlanta Slave Trade by David Northrop. And I talked about this powerful brother right here, Dr. Bobby Wright, The Psychotic Racial Personality and Other Essays, Joanna Kunjufu, Dr. Naeem Akbar, two of them, Changing Images of Psychological Slavery, Naeem Akbar, Visions for Black Men. And this one here, all of them we hope that you would get. But this is the more popular one called Brainwash by Tom Burrell. And get these book audience and begin to read about our own visionaries at Imhotep and Brother Ankh stated earlier for yourself, so that you'll learn information for yourself. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, brothers. And I'm going to go ahead and just close it out. I just wanted to say with this word that I think to maintain, I know for myself, what I do, and that this may help people as far as maintaining their mental health. Like I said, with myself, like, every day is not a good day. We go through ups and downs as human beings, but it's about staying balanced. So I say the number one thing to do is to have faith. I'm going to say 4 things, and then I'm going to close out. The number one, I say the most important is faith. Have faith that it's a greater will or a higher power. There's something going on that's going to see you through no matter what. It's a greater purpose at all times. It's a great plan. All bad days don't last. And it's something higher that's no matter where you at in life, no matter what you're going through, all storms do not last. Just have faith that it's a greater purpose. And you just, where you at this time in your life, you may be, it's just for a moment. It doesn't last forever. So I say number one is faith within yourself and faith within a higher power. Number 2 is going to be affirmations. For me, just saying little affirmations. I am powerful. I know who I am. I am a strong man. This too shall pass if I'm in the midst of a storm. Affirm. Because once you affirm into that higher power. You affirm into yourself who you are. And you're taking, as Brother Ankh said, that mastery. And that's getting to your subconscious. So that's what you can fall back on. And your subconscious is going to push you through that when you get in them hard times. So affirm, have affirmations what you want and what it is. Affirm your situation and affirm yourself. Number 3, get in tune with your star player. Be in tune with your true feelings. What you truly want. How are you really feeling? Don't be afraid to say, if you're mad about something, that's not necessarily saying go and rip out and go crazy on other people, but be honest with yourself. Like, I'm feeling like this. Like, okay, this made me angry. This made me sad. This made me feel like this. Be honest with your star player, with your higher self. Be honest with yourself. Be in tune with your star player. And I'll say number 4, control your reality, as we said before. If things that don't serve you no more, let it go. Let it off your plate. So you can make room for healthiness, make room for happiness. If you sad, depressed, understand you control your reality and you can change it. And once you do make that step to do it, that higher power, what we call the universe, the Most High, the Creator, it is going to transform it for you. Yeah, you climbing a mountain, you might hit a rock or two, but it's going to lead you in that direction. But control your reality and be honest with what you want. Control it. If you're in a relationship, you want to get out, it's depressing you, whatever does not serve you anymore, let it go. So those faith, affirmations, being in tune with your star player, and controlling your reality. No matter how there's no particular order in those 4, and no matter how they come in your life, just remember that. Faith, affirmations, being in tune with your star player, and controlling your reality. And that's all I have to say. I wish everybody the best of luck this year. Stay strong. To any and everybody watching this, stay mentally up, and happiness, peace, love, and joy. Thank you for watching this episode of The King's Table. Like, share, subscribe. And if you didn't check out episode 1 on the election, please go back and check out that episode. Peace and blessings, family. One love.